Good day, everyone. I hope you're all fine. We started a topic last week, which we discussed lack of preparation for exam, which leads to what? To failure in the exam. My name is Olawole Olalere, Principal Management Consultant, Ola Konsult, cross-border education providers. In the part one of our topic, lack of preparation for exam, we discussed extensively on how we prepare students for the exam. Towards the end of our discussion, we mentioned diagnostic tests that we do conduct for our candidates. Then we stop there. Then we want to continue from there. Third, what we first do when we have a candidate who wants to become our students, we do diagnostic tests for the students to find the entry behavior. Then, if the student fail the diagnostic test, which diagnostic test is also done in the lab, if the student fail the diagnostic test, then it has the result of the diagnostic test, has grades. Now, what are the grades? If you score below 19, that means between 0 to 19, it's very poor. We have 20 to 29, poor. Then we have between 50 to 17 and above, good, excellent. Or if a student, if an applicant scored less than 19, it shows that we have to conduct a postmortem. You will be amazed at what do I mean by postmortem? It's for dead body, to find the cause of the death. We also do that in academics to find the cause of the applicant failure, because grade between 0 to 19 over 100%, that's too bad. So we now find the cause of the failure. Then when we find the cause of the failure, what do we do next? Please listen to me. So when we find the cause, we now conduct a postmortem test. That postmortem test, we find out why the applicant failed. Now, what do we do? Let's take two subjects. For example, I'll take one from science and another one from arts. Okay, let's take from arts, government. Government is divided into various areas. We have pre-colonial and colonial history. We have politics, that's political science aspect of it. We have international relations aspect. We have functions of government and many more. Now, these particular students may fail woefully. You have constitution too, may fail woefully in the aspect, the questions that came out in that diagnostic text, in the aspect of constitution, in the aspect of pre-colonial and colonial history. Then, if the student failed so bad in those areas, that will be the cause of his failure or a failure in diagnostic tests. So we now say, okay, let's now take physics, for example. We have optics, mechanism, electromagnetism in physics. We have quantum physics. Then we now conduct the tests. That after the student failed the diagnostic tests woefully, that's why we had to conduct postmortem. Postmortem will now show us the areas where the failure occurred. In physics, it may be in optics, it may be in mechanism. Then we now look at, these students didn't understand mechanism very well, optics very well, even if you failed in optics or in quantum physics. Then what we now do, the result of the diagnostic test and the postmortem will now be presented to a specialist, because we definitely need specialists to treat that particular applicant because an applicant is still an applicant. Yeah, we have not realized it has not become our student. So by the time the student come around and wanted to agree to be our student, then what do we do to make sure we get result on that particular student? We bring specialists. Let's take physics for example. In our physics, we also divide physics on our table to two. That is the calculation and the theoretical aspect. Some students are not good in calculation in physics. It shows that we have to find the root. That is, we look at if in the postmortem and the applicant failed the calculation aspect so bad, it shows that the student is not good in mathematics. So we will now employ a teacher who is a specialist, but we have to be biased. We must make sure that the teacher attended College of Education, NC in maths and physics. So that maths and physics will now give the specialist ahead, so that the specialist will now treat the mathematics aspect of that physics very well because of his background, and he will have MC in mathematics, BSc in physics, with maybe MSc in physics. So it will be very good to treat that ailment the way they treat ailment in the hospital. We also treat ailment. They have patients in the hospital. We have students in academics. So we treat it. Then after that, we now proceed. Now the one in heart too, we do the same. We bring a specialist, somebody that studied law to treat constitution. That's what we do. Then we now bring a qualified teacher that studied law to teach constitution. Talking about pre-colonial and colonial history, we bring a teacher that studied history to teach that area. Then the applicant that scored less than 19 in the diagnostic tests that proceeded to postmortem test cannot be in the same class with the candidate that scored 60 and above. So we bring in specialists to treat those ones first in their various classes. We have separate classes for them. So the ones that score less than 90, we have their own separate class. Then we build them up. After building them up, we are satisfied. We get recommendations from the teachers. We get a report from the teachers. Then what we do next? We now move there. When we are satisfied with their report, we now move them to the class of those ones that scored 50 and above, so that they will be at the same level. Because when they first came, they will not be operating at the same frequency. No. By the time we put them together, we can't put them together. If you put them together at inception 4, the one that scored less than 19 will not be able to cope in that class, because they will have assumed they understood this, they understood that. So that is the way we operate. And by the time we do that, we put them into rigorous teaching. After to go and do research, we take the whole of their time. We take the whole of their time to get result. And at the end of the day, we get result. That's how we do. There was a candidate. Let me close this meeting with a candidate they brought to me. That candidate was brought to me. They asked me to prepare the candidate for WAEC within 3 months. Then when I did the diagnostic test, it failed so bad. I proceeded to postmortem, and I found out that I can't present the candidate. I could not present the candidate. I said, I can't present this candidate in the next 3 months. I said, if I wanted to present this candidate, it would take me 4 years to build the candidate before I can present for the exam, because the level of the candidate they brought to me, GSS 1, they asked me to prepare, but actually in a school, the candidate was in SS2. But when they brought it to me for evaluation, when I found out the entry point of the candidate, I found out the candidate should be in GSS1. And the parents agreed, and I started. Even it took me 3.5 years. Then after that, I presented the candidate for the exam, for WAEC, and they performed excellently. So, I'm closing this meeting right now. By the next we are meeting, I'll discuss another aspect of education, talking about how to build your child for future. Thank you so much. Thanks for listening. Bye.